Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs show. Today I am joined by Jake Lewis.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And Cameron Williams.
Yeah.
Today we are missing Sean because he is at a football camp up in New England. So we're going to play this clip of him from today. This is what he's doing currently.
It's proof that he's not out partying.
He's right here. You'll see him right here. One hand snag
God.
for the touchdown. So that's where Sean is. We miss him, but he's putting in work. So
The New York Jets could use him.
we'll get right into it today. We're going to start off by talking about last night's game. We got Hawks coming out on top over the Bucks. Who could have seen this ever happening, Jake?
Well, I could have because I predicted Hawks in 6 before the season began. Before the series began. Before the season, I didn't know they'd make the playoffs, but they even surprised me. But if you think about how they played the last series against Philly, how did Embiid get all of his points? Mid-range free throws and threes. Giannis can't really do that. So that's why I feel like it might be a bad matchup for the Bucks, even though Drew Holiday should be able to lock up Trey, but wasn't the case last night.
It's not the case last night.
So
How many points do you have?
48, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. He's not that good of a rebounder either, so that was kind of surprising. But I thought they would get a split in the first 2 games. So they got game 1, so might want to look at Bucks spread tomorrow.
If the Bucks lose 2 at home, then
The Bucks might be a
huge
little
shot.
ticked off. That spread tomorrow is interesting.
Cam, what are your takeaways from last night's game?
I'm not surprised.
Really?
Trey's been killing since last series. He did it versus the 76ers. So it's nothing new. Nobody could really guard him, not even Ben. Drew Holiday was having trouble out there. It's just like it's a 30 guaranteed every single night. Nobody can stop him. So, I mean, I think the Bucks, I think they're going to come back at some point. They just got to keep getting pissed off.
So you think the Bucks will win the
You're
series?
picking Milwaukee to win it.
Yeah. There's no way the Hawks win this series. I think
But Trey's guaranteed 30 every night.
he is. I mean, we seen that last series, didn't we? Didn't we?
What?
We seen that last series, didn't we?
What-
So your whole take is just he's good and he beat the Sixers, basically?
Basically.
All right. Well, I will say that he never dropped 49 or 48 on Ben. So
That's
I think
true.
that he's going to probhe have more to do in the scoring department in
Well,
this
Ben's
series.
also never had over like 12 points.
Okay, but I'm just talking about defense. He never dropped 50 on Ben, but yeah. So I think that the Bucks will win this series. I don't see them losing Game 2 at home.
I don't either.
And I think that Atlanta will definitely win 1 in Atlanta. But I think it would go 6 or 7. The Bucks usually do well when they have to do well. Like they went down 0-2 to the Nets, and then they just came back and took over the series. So it's very, very early to count them out. But the Hawks are playing great basketball, so you got to give them props for that. But I think we should get into NFL, which is something we've not talked about yet on the show. It's that time of year, and it's a great time of year to get into some futures bets if you're old enough and in a legal state to do so. Obviously, we are not, so we do not bet.
We do not
But
gamble.
that's just a disclaimer.
But if we did,
But if we did, these are some good value picks, and it's also good to talk about because it's just a way to talk about football at a time where there's nothing going on in football. So it's fun in that regard. We'll start off by talking about MVP. Cam, I'd like to get your pick for MVP and what you think is good value. All these odds are on FanDuel Sportsbook. We just picked that one. No affiliation towards it at all because we don't gamble, but there are just a good interface for us to look at. So, Cam,
Well, if I was to gamble, which I don't, never have in my life, never will, I would pick the sleeper Justin Herbert. I feel like he had a great season last year with a terrible, awful offensive team. I mean, Austin Eckler was their running back. It doesn't get much worse than that. He has great odds. That's a way to make money. Go to the bank right after, do whatever you want to do, whatever. A few Vegas bombs. Even though I don't know what those are. But I think Justin Herbert would be the sleeper pick on the MVP for the
So you think the
NFL.
Chargers are gonna? Do you think they're gonna like do well? Like,
Yeah,
because you're not
for
gonna win
sure.
MVP unless your team's like good.
At
so.
least 10
Well-
wins. They're going to need at least 10 wins.
At
They're
least.
definitely going to get 10 wins.
Okay.
Hands down.
Okay.
I think they might need like 12 for him to win MVP, and I don't think that's
Yeah.
gonna happen,
He had a
especially in the
decent-
AFC
He had
West.
a great year last year.
But he's in the same division as the Chiefs, so he's gonna lose both games to the Chiefs. And that's a tough division otherwise too. Like, it's gonna be hard for him to win MVP with the MVP in his division. But Jake, who's your good value pick for MVP?
If you look at the last few, Rodgers went 13-3. That was the 1 seed. Lamar was 14-2. They were the 1 seed. Mahomes 12-4. They were a 1 seed too, I think. So you need a team that's going to get a lot of wins. It's probably going to be a quarterback. Non-quarterback. If you asked me to give a non-quarterback MVP, I would lean towards Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
They're going to have to feed him the ball. He's going to get the ball a lot. Up there,
That question with him is just staying healthy.
up there in Minnesota. Yeah, he was on pace last year to get to 2,000 yards.
Because he puts up numbers when he's playing.
tweaked
But
his ankle, I think, or was his knee? He missed a game or two. So that would be my non-quarterback pick. But it's a quarterback award.
Yep. Your boy's sitting there at plus 1,700.
Yeah, but so I'll give you two.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Lamar. If you put a gun in my head and made me choose him, I think he's going to bounce back. He threw 26 touchdowns last year to like 9 picks. I think everyone said it was a bad year. He ran for over 1,000 yards again. So he's gonna be in it every year because of how much he runs and how awesome he is, like how the highlights.
And their team's good all the time.
So I would pick him because I think they're going to be great again. But Matthew Stafford, I think, is pissed. He's finally on a good team with a good offensive coach. I think he's going to put up numbers.
Spread offense.
So one of those two. Everyone loves Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. No one knows where Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing, so that's a little bit iffy. I think the Bills are going to come back. And Mahomes, people are they're taking for granted how great he is.
Yeah.
So he's going to need to throw 50.
It's like LeBron.
He'll need to throw 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns to really wow people again. So
I don't think that they'll just give it to Mahomes every year like they didn't give Michael Jordan MVP every year, LeBron MVP every year. Like, I think that, honestly, if you had to give me, like, one pick, I think it's going to be Josh Allen just because I think the Bills are going to continue to dominate like they did last year. He puts up numbers, can also run the ball, too. Not as efficient as Lamar running, but he still is very mobile. And I think that the way that the MVP works is kind of just like they don't want to just give it to some like guy multiple years in a row. And Josh Allen was like top 3 talk last year for MVP, so he's the only guy out of those guys that hasn't got it yet. So I think it'll be him.
in the red zone, they run a lot of QB powers.
Yeah.
So he gets like 7 touchdowns a year on the ground.
Yeah.
And then he'll throw for about 40. So that's a very good selection.
Yeah, I think that honestly, Cam, Justin Herbert has no chance.
No, that is a balls.
All right, here's another sleeper pick. How do we feel about Russell Wilson? A pissed off Russell Wilson at that.
I mean, the Seahawks would have to just be really good. I mean, Russell Wilson is good, but he also threw a lot of picks last year. I forget who it was against that one game, maybe the Bills or the Patriots. Somebody threw like 3 or 4. And that was like when everyone was saying he was going to be MVP. I thought that like the way it was going, it seemed like he was going to be MVP last year, and then he just kind of fell apart. So did the team, but
Russ has started off each of the last 2 or 3 years like hotter than the sun. And then defenses figure him out. I think last year he was on pace, seriously, to throw around 80 TDs, like the first 3 weeks. And then obviously that cooled off. He threw a bunch of picks and whatever. I think the Bills get a bunch of turnovers. But it's the toughest division in the league. Niners, Rams, Seahawks. So if they're the 1 seed in the NFC in that division, that might be good.
so let's talk good value. Who do you think's going to make the playoffs here? So just a couple random teams that are on the board here. The Washington football team to make the playoffs is plus 156. So they're not expected to make the playoffs. And they're in the NFC least and a division in which the winner will probably not have a winning record. And they consistently are terrible. And they have a new quarterback in Fitzmagic. So you never know what could happen. Cowboys obviously are favored to win the division because Dak is back. But I think that the Washington football team has the best defense in the division and one of the best defenses in football. and the best defensive line in football. And I think that could be important for your boy Daniel Jones when he's trying not to fumble the ball, Cam. I think that the Washington football team to make the playoffs at plus 156 is good value. I don't know how they were able to compete with the Bucs last year in the wild card game, but it was close, and it was closer than the Super Bowl. So,
No, it's not happening.
you don't think they make the playoffs?
They're not making the playoffs with Fitzmagic. It's not happening.
No is what, minus 190? Is that what that
Yeah.
says?
And then the Giants almost beat the Bucs as well. We beat the Bucs low key. The last call was like a fluke.
2-point conversion, that Monday night game.
I do remember
That was a
that.
bad beat for a lot of people who do
Come on.
gamble.
Yeah,
Stop playing. And then he got to get past the Cowboys. Fitzmagic.
it's not like the Cowboys are. I mean, like that. Out of those 4 teams, they're the best team on paper, but I mean, without Dak, they were terrible.
I like Washington over the Eagles and the Giants,
How?
but not
Who-
over Dallas.
Besides Fitzmagic, who else can you name on the offensive team?
Terry McLaurin?
And besides Terry.
McKissick.
Their running back had 4 touchdowns on Thanksgiving.
McKissick.
Either 3. Oh, that's his name?
McKissick,
See,
yeah.
sorry,
Are
Washington
we
football
depending
team. I
on
don't know you
McKissick
guys.
to take us to the playoffs?
Chase Young, dude. You know who that is. He's
I mean, to make the playoffs isn't like.
You need points. Fitzmagic isn't putting up points.
In order
Especially
for-
with the Washington Redskins offense.
in order for
Football
them to
team.
make the playoffs, they got to win the divisions because they're not going to get a wild card spot because that division is terrible.
Yeah, no.
You're basically
It's to
betting
win
on
the
them
division.
to win
Yeah.
the division, essentially.
Yeah.
So that you got to put it in that perspective. I would say no.
Let's go from
That's
the arguably worst division in the NFL to arguably the best division in the NFL. The Arizona Cardinals are plus 176 to win the division after signing A.J. Green, J.J. Watt. Who else they get?
They drafted some linebacker from Tulsa, I think.
Zavon Collins.
Oh yeah. So I mean, like they've added a lot of talent.
They've loaded.
They're in a tough division. Seahawks, 49ers, and Rams. But oh wait, is that right?
Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, and
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Okay, yeah.
NFC
So
West.
yeah, so they're plus 176 to make the playoffs. That'll most likely be a wild card spot. They were close last year. I think it came down to them or the Chargers or Rams. I mean, at the very
It's the
end.
last game of the year.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, that's obviously a very tough decision or division. I mean, but I think the Cardinals are a really slept-on team, and I think that Kyler Murray is only going to get better as he gets older, and he's got a lot of weapons around him, and J.J. Watt now too. And J.J. Watt's finally playing on a team that has a chance to contend. So I think that this team could prove a lot of people wrong this year, and I think that's good value at plus 176 to, if you're a gambling man, to sprinkle some.
I would say it would come down to the Cardinals and the Rams and who's the better team out of them. And I feel like the Rams are obviously the better team. And if it comes down to it, to like making the playoffs, the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals. Because regardless, the Rams defense are going to.
Yeah, I think the Rams will win the division.
Yeah.
And I think the 49ers will have a better record too. But I think that the Cardinals, and the Seahawks, that's the tough part. All 4 of those teams are playoff teams.
You look at the division, you probably got Shanahan, Carroll, McVay, Kingsbury.
I might.
There's a gap.
No, but Carroll, I don't know
For
if
how
Carroll's better.
talented they are,
Yeah.
and I think Cliff should be. He's a great offensive mind, but does he see the whole game as good as those other 3 guys? I don't think so. So that's where they're at a disadvantage. Talent-wise, they might be one of the most talented teams in the whole league. But
All right. Well, let's go.
that's a coin flip. If you put a gun in
Yeah.
my head, I would say no.
That's a tough one because all 4 of those teams are very good. All right, let's go to the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers are plus 170 to make the playoffs. Pretty similar situation in terms of a very tough division. Ravens and the Browns are locks to make the playoffs, so you have to get into that wild card. And they have 7 teams now, and we have an extra game this year, but I don't know. That's a tough division. I think that Najee Harris is going to be a lot better than people think. I think that he's just a football player. Like, he just doesn't matter that. Like, I mean, he's obviously been in Alabama, so he's playing against the best of the best. But I think that he's one of those guys, kind of like Derrick Henry a couple of years ago, where they can just immediately transition to the next level. And I think that he's a guy that the Steelers are going to give the ball to a lot and try to not have Big Ben throw as much as he did last year, because that was where they started to have problems. But I don't know. I think plus 170 is good value just because Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record, and I know there's an extra game, so that might change things. But I think that if they're going all in for Ben's last year, I think that they'd at least make the playoffs.
This is the best bet so far at yes.
Yeah.
TJ Watt was robbed a Defensive Player of the Year. He's upset. They got a good defense. It's the Steelers. They got a good defense every year. Tomlin, in my opinion, is a top 3 coach in the league. Like you said, he's never had a losing record. He went 8-8 with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph.
Almost made the playoffs.
I think they're going to give Offensive Rookie of the Year to a quarterback because that was the hype in the draft. But Najee Harris is going to have the biggest impact of any rookie because he's going to be playing in the playoffs.
And he's going to be very high usage rate.
The Jags, the Jets, the Bears, all the teams that drafted quarterbacks, those guys will put up numbers. They're great, but they're not going to probably be in the playoffs. The Steelers will be. He's going to fix their running game. They're going to be a wild card team. Will they? It's the same thing as the Cardinals. It's a brutal division, but I see them making the wild card at least.
Cam?
I want to agree, but I just feel like the Steelers don't have a great offensive line for Najee to.
They signed Trey Turner today, 5-time Pro Bowler.
That's their biggest question is the O-line.
Yeah. They signed Trey Turner today. He's 5-time Pro Bowler. He's 28, I think. But, Mitchell Schwartz is still out there, too, and apparently there's rumors that he might be signed as well. All right, so the Detroit Lions are plus 620 to make the playoffs. And obviously they are the Detroit Lions and perennially terrible. But it's a weird year. You never know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. If he gets traded to a different team, that division becomes wide open. And the Lions have a new head coach who's hungry, who gets after it. And they got DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff. They drafted a great O-lineman, so they'll be able to protect. They'll run, play action a lot, hand the ball off a lot. So I'm just saying 620 is incredible value. Do I think they make the playoffs? Probably not. But if you're a Lions fan and you are of age and in a legal gambling state, there might be some reason to believe that this would be decent to throw some money on.
You would put money on that?
No.
Okay, well.
But
I love the reality.
There's a few
of
people
what
that
you're
would. We know a few people.
620, you could put just a little bit, maybe a quarter of a unit on it. But I'm just saying that it depends what your unit is. But that's a great value pick in a division that, as soon as Aaron Rodgers gets traded, is wide open.
Name 3 players in the Lions defense. I can name Okudah, and that's it.
I can't name any.
Exactly.
Jared Davis.
On their defense, I cannot.
The linebacker.
On their offense isn't bad.
Who are their receivers?
Golden
Tate's gone.
I forget his
I think the Giants got Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, they did. Kenny Golladay.
Tight ends. Do they have Hawkinson? Did they?
No, he's on the Seahawks.
DeAndre Swift. That's all that matters.
Well,
DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff, good O-line. That's all that matters. Hand the ball off.
I see 6-11.
Pound the rock.
I see 6-11.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I'm just saying.
I would lay that 1,000.
Value.
I would lay that 1,000. I would lay it.
All right, let's talk about who we think is going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Here we go. This is where
this is where you can get some good value, because if you thought either Chiefs or Bills, that's probably what it's going to be. You can still get the Chiefs at plus 200 and the Bills at plus 470. Ravens plus 550, and after that, I don't think any of those teams have a chance. They have the Denver Broncos at the 5th best odds to be the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Broncos are scheming.
So somebody knows something that the rest of us don't.
The Broncos are scheming.
Because the Broncos are terrible. So unless they get Aaron Rodgers, which is the rumor, I don't know how they have better odds than most teams in the AFC.
So who are you laying?
In this bet, I think that the Chiefs are plus 200. If you want to make some easy money, chances are they're going to win. But, the Bills are plus 470. It's one of those two, in my opinion. I know that you might differ, but I think that plus 470 for the Bills to win or to be the number 1 seed, I think that's great value.
The Chiefs, I think the Chiefs and the Ravens are both going to go 14-3. They play each other week 3. I think the Chiefs are going to win. They're going to get the tiebreaker. They're going to be the 1 seed. But in the
And if
AFC
it comes down to
Championship
it, to
game,
like make
the
the
outcome may
playoff,
be
the Rams
different.
are going to beat the Cardinals.
I'm going way into the future with that one.
Well, I'm just saying that if you think the Ravens are going to go 14-3,
I
then
do.
just off the top of my head,
I do.
in my head, I'm thinking 2 of those losses automatically are Browns Steelers because I think they'll split the
I
division
think they're going to
series.
sweep the Browns.
So-
They'll split the Steelers.
I mean that. I
think
I
they're
don't agree with
sweeping.
I
that.
agree with you, Jake.
They're sweeping. The
They're not
Browns.
sweeping the Browns and not sweeping the Steelers.
They did last year.
They did not last year.
Yes, they did.
The Ravens beat the Steelers last year.
No. I'm saying
They beat them once.
They swept the Browns last year.
Oh, okay. Well,
The Steelers swept the Ravens.
yeah. Okay.
So this year it might be split, but I would lay, what is it, the two, if I were to be a gambler, I would lay the Chiefs at plus 200. Cam, what do you got?
I would agree with you. I think if I were to gamble, I would take the Chiefs plus 200. It's easy money. Pat Mahomes said it himself. What they're going, what?
He
What is
wants to go 20-0. He
Yeah.
wants to try to be the first undefeated team since the Dolphins in '72.
I believe in Pat Mahomes.
Mm.
If Pat Mahomes told
they lost to
me,
the Raiders twice last year.
that doesn't matter. That's not going to happen this
Just
year.
saying.
Especially a year when he said it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
So you're just riding with them.
Yes.
All right.
It's Pat Mahomes.
We're
If
all
Pat
riding
Mahomes pulled
chalk
up-
on the favorite. We're all riding chalk.
So let's go NFC. This one's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, let's get wild here.
So the Bucks are the favorite at plus 270. Then you got the 49ers, who were top 3 draft pick last year somehow.
Well, they were
And-
12th and traded up. But
Yeah, that's true. But Packers at plus 700. Don't know if their quarterback's going to be Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles Rams at plus 700. Seahawks at plus 850. Cowboys at plus 1200. If you put money on the Cowboys to be the number 1 seed in the NFC, you are donating money.
Mm-hmm.
There's 0% chance at that.
I agree.
I would say that the Bucks and the Rams are the picks here. I don't believe in the 49ers, and I don't know what's going to happen with the Packers. I would say Rams are a good value pick at plus 700.
I'm not a fan of the Seahawks slander. Like, you're just not going to mention the Seahawks?
I just don't think they'll be the number 1 seed. I think that they'll make the playoffs for sure, but I don't think they're going to be the best team in the NFC. I mean, I don't think they were going to be the best team in their division. I think the Rams look better.
This is wild.
I think the Rams are going to be good this year.
I
I know a
wanna
lot of
say-
people are saying that, but I believe in them. I also would say that the Saints having better odds than the Cardinals is a joke. I think the Saints are going to be terrible.
They just love Sean Payton. That's the only reason.
I
why they
mean,
got him.
I think Jameis is better than people think, but I also don't think that they'll be better than the Cardinals. But yeah, Cam, who do you think will win this conference?
I want to say the Cardinals, but just because of how tough their conference is, I don't think they're
Their
going to
division?
pull their division. I don't think they're going to pull too many wins in. So,
Did you say the Cardinals make the playoffs, or did you say no? And now you're saying they're going to be the number 1 seed?
Yeah, think back to a world we lived in 12 and a half minutes ago.
And if it comes down to it, to like making the playoffs, the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals.
There's no chance the Cardinals are the number 1 seed. Any
No,
pick,
there's a chance.
No,
it's not a good
no.
chance.
any pick, but below the Seahawks, no shot.
the Cardinals got a chance.
How are the Falcons on that screen?
I don't understand. Whoever made this is.
Atlanta.
I would say it's going to be the Bucks if I had to pick one, but my second pick would be the Rams,
Yeah.
and then Seahawks or Packers if Aaron Rodgers is there. But I mean, you just don't know. 49ers terrible. I don't know why you would pick that. Although, I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Maybe it's a freezing cold take and they're really good next year, but I just don't. I don't think that that'll just happen that quickly after being not so good last year.
I'll go Rams, Bucks, then 49ers. Just because apparently the Seahawks suck. Just because the Seahawks
You're entitled to your own opinion, Cam.
Rams, Bucks, Minnesota Vikings, top 3.
So let's get into from the best teams to the worst teams. Who do you think will have the worst record in the NFL? The favorite is the Texans at plus 250, the Lions at plus 350, and the Jets at plus 850. Personally, for me, I would say that the pick here is the Jets at plus 850 just because I think that they are just a terrible organization.
You don't believe in
Uh,
Trevor?
I mean, it's not their fault. Like, I'm sure that it sucks for those guys to go out there every week and like we're probably gonna lose, and then they lose, and then I just don't see Zach Wilson just solving it that quickly. I don't think he's that much better than Sam Darnold, if at all. And I think it'll be a shame. I think if you're quarterback drafted there and you're immediately required to play as a rookie, you're probably going to struggle. And they just don't have a lot of weapons. So I think that Corey Davis will help, but I don't know if that's enough. I don't know who their running back is. I think the Lions are a terrible pick here. I think they're going to do decent this year.
You like the Lions.
I think they're going to be – I think it's going to be a better year than previous years. Just because of the division kind of being in flux. There's not just Aaron Rodgers is going to be there, so it's 100%. But Bengals also some decent value at the fourth best odds to be the worst. Maybe the Eagles. This is the thing I don't understand. They have the Denver Broncos on here for worst record, but then they also have them for like fifth to win the AFC like outright. So I don't understand that.
Betting on Denver is a death hazard. I don't understand why people got them at both ends of the spectrum there.
I see some value in Jacksonville having the worst record.
You do?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be the Trevor show, and it's his first year. And it's not like he has offensive weapons to, like, throw. This isn't Clemson. He's
Good
not,
running back, though.
Who?
They have a good running back.
They do.
Who, Jaguars?
Yeah, they have
ETN.
that guy from last year and then ETN
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
they have a...
But they're
Don't
putting
forget that guy's
ETN.
name.
I heard they're putting ETN at, like, slot receiver or something.
Yeah,
They're-
but he's good, and he knows Trevor.
They're working him out at it. I would say... I don't want to go chalk and just pick the Texans. I do expect that they're going to be awful. But...
They have Tyrod, too, by the way.
Give me...
They got Tyrod?
I
He's
think
their backup.
I think the worst team in the NFL this upcoming season, even though I love Devontae Smith, is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Their coach gave one of the worst opening
Yeah,
press conferences
I feel
I've
bad
ever
for that guy.
seen.
That guy
Jalen
didn't deserve
Hurts
that.
is a great story, but I don't think he's ready. They signed Flacco. He's not going to help much if Jalen Hurts gets benched. I think the Eagles are in that division too,
Yeah.
where they should get a free 2 or 3 wins with how awful the other teams in that division are. I would say Philly's going to go 3-14, 4-13, something like that.
I just think for the Jets, I think the Patriots are going to be a lot more improved this year after signing all those guys. I think since Cam was good before COVID, and then after COVID he was bad.
Yeah.
So maybe with no COVID he's good again. But and then the Bills obviously, and then the Dolphins weren't bad last year either. I don't think Tua's that great, but maybe I'm wrong. And it's just a tough division. So the Jets, I feel like out of these teams that are in the running here for being the worst, have the hardest division. So who's going to have the best record in the NFL this year? Cam, would you like to start us off?
I'm going with the Rams. I think they got the best defense with Jalen Ramsey locking everybody up.
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. Come on now. I ain't even nothing to speak on. But Matthew Stafford's pissed off. He's getting shitted on. What?
He's free.
He's free. He got free from Detroit.
Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp.
First day out.
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers. It doesn't get better than that. His name's Cam. What do you, like, come on.
That is a fact.
So what do you project their like? So you think they're going to go what? 12-5, 13-4, 14-3. What do you got them at?
17 games this year.
17 games.
I want to say 14.
Tough
and
division,
three.
too.
14 and 3.
14-3.
Jake?
I also think the team with the best record is going to be 14-3, and I already said it previously. I think the Ravens and the Chiefs are both going to go 14-3. I would take
I don't think the Bucks will.
I would take the Chiefs. Sorry for being chalky with it.
For me, I think it's between Chiefs and Bills. I just think the NFC is harder, so I don't expect the Bucks. They also kind of got hot, like in the playoffs. They weren't playing as well as they did in the playoffs in the regular season.
Bucks are frauds.
So yeah, I mean it is chalk, but I would go Chiefs here. So let's get to over/under wins, and we'll try to go through this quick.
Yep, speed
So
round.
we'll start with the underdog of this season, the Detroit Lions over/under 5 wins. Cam,
Under. Under. There's nothing. No.
The thing
we're
is,
not talking
over is
about-
plus 100, so that there's value there. It's equal money.
There's no value.
Um,
You're losing money. They're not winning 5 games. They'll be dead if they win 3 games.
Exactly.
They're not
5.
winning 5 games.
I can't
Especially
say
with
exactly.
Jared Goff.
Give me. I don't like betting under. I think I said previously in the show 6 and 11, but now I'm thinking about it. Like, I hate betting unders, but give me the under. I'm
You
sorry.
don't bet. We don't bet under.
No. I'm
Metaphorically.
answering every question as if I were a gambler,
Okay.
but I'm not.
Okay.
But I would say under.
Philadelphia Eagles over under 6.5.
Under.
That's a tough one because their division sucks, but they
Way
also
under.
suck worse. So
Way under.
under is plus money, so that's a good pick.
Under.
I'm going way under.
49ers over under 10.5.
Under. Sorry.
Tough division. 10.5.
I'm
I
hitting
feel
unders.
like they
You
could
think
win.
they're gonna go 10-7?
I think they win more games than 10 games.
They're gonna win more games than 10 games, for sure.
I think the Rams and the Seahawks are going to be.
I just think
better
that they'll
than
get
that
Kittle
division.
back. They'll get Garoppolo back. They'll get who else got hurt? Bosa.
It was what 10.5.
10.5.
Under. Give me the under.
I say over on that one.
Give me the under.
And Jimmy G's inspired now because they just drafted a quarterback 3rd overall and traded up to get him. So next we have the Chiefs at 12.5. You guys were just saying they might have the best record,
Over.
so I'm thinking over at plus 100.
Like you can't say.
value.
I don't see how you can say under if they start off the year 10-1. You're going to be like, what the hell was I thinking?
And they won't cover any spreads either.
Well, that's
But they will
That's
win.
a subject for another day.
They will win though.
That's a subject for another day.
Denver Broncos at 8.5.
Yeah, that's weird.
This is the mystery of the
That's
NFL.
weird.
Mystery of NFL gambling as well, because no one knows what's going to happen. Over under 8.5. Under is plus 110. I think under's the play there as we stand today with Aaron Rodgers. Over. However, as we stand today, Drew Lock or Teddy Two Gloves, I'm taking the under there.
Teddy 2 goals.
I love Teddy.
As presently constructed, you got to take the under on
Yeah.
that.
So, some money there. All right, so let's go with divisions. NFC East, worst division in football. The favorite at plus 110 is the Dallas Cowboys. Cam has some personal attachment to this division as he is a Giants fan. The Giants are sitting at the 3rd best odds at
Free
plus
money.
400. Washington football team second at 260, and then Eagles at plus 550. So the Giants are not getting any respect, Cam. How do you feel about this, and how do you feel
I'm not worried.
about who's going to win the division?
I'm not worried. We got the best offense in the division. Let's put that out there.
Do you think you're better than the Cowboys?
Debatable.
Yes. Kenny Galladay, Saquon, Sterling
CeeDee Lamb,
Shepard,
Ezekiel
Evan
Elliott,
Ingram.
Dak Prescott.
But did you see what happened to his leg last year? You think he's just gonna come? He wasn't even better before that. He sucked before then.
So you're picking the Giants to win the division.
yes.
At what record?
Are you gonna
9
put
and
your
8?
faith in Philly? And
I'm putting my faith in Ryan Fitzmagic and
I
the Washington
said
football
Philly
team.
He's not gonna score.
I think plus 260 is great value here for the Washington football team.
I said Philly was going to be the worst team in the league.
exactly. So you can just X them off.
X them off. for
I'm not
me.
saying that they have any chance, but I don't think the Giants have any chance either.
I got-
Washington is not scoring the football. They're
I
not
got
gonna
Dallas.
put the ball in the end zone. They have nobody.
But
to
they're
give the ball
stopping
to.
everybody on D.
I got
Not
Dallas.
the best offense in the division.
That's the best offense in the division and a terrible
So you
division.
think the Giants are going to go what 9-8, 8-9? That's what they're going to have to be to win the division.
Whatever it takes to win the division.
What, so you're going to pick them. I got Dallas. I'm
Yeah.
not confident in that, but I'm just picking them because
It's literally a toss-up,
They're the
and
most talented team.
the best toss-up in there is the Giants.
All right, so
Realistically
NFC North.
Minnesota.
We have Packers, the favorite, at minus 125. Vikings at plus 250, and after that, it doesn't matter. I think that this is completely, obviously, contingent on Aaron Rodgers being there or not. And then the Vikings are just kind of a team that's kind of stuck in mediocrity, Jake. And this is your team. So it is hard, I'm sure, for you to not have a biased opinion on it.
Yep.
But 250 is a good number if you
I'm
All right,
partial.
man.
I'm partial to the purple and gold. We started last year 1-5. The no fans thing hurt us. We have some of the best fans in the league, and when they get that dome rocking,
Skull.
it's rocking. I think even if Aaron Rodgers plays for the Packers, the relationship, the it's going to be so awkward they won't be as good as they were last year. Now, if they win the division, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays because he's that great. But Minnesota just needs to start faster, which I believe they do, and I like their odds at plus 250.
If Dalvin Cook's healthy the whole year too, then they're a good team.
That's a huge
Hopefully.
X factor.
And Kirk Cousins doesn't suck. All right, so NFC South. This division is much different than it was last year because Drew Brees is gone. We got the Bucks at minus 195, so not good value there at all. Saints at plus 320, Falcons at plus 700, and Panthers at plus 1100. Honestly, I think the Falcons are probably better than the Saints. But I think that there's no value in this division. I think it's going to be the Bucks 100%. It was close last year, kind of. This year, I don't think it'll be that hard, especially because the Bucks retained every starter, and it's another year of being together. But do you guys have anything to say about that?
I would lay the 195.
You would?
Yeah.
You're going to have to put a decent amount on
Well,
that.
because I don't trust the other teams in that division.
I don't think there's a point of putting
Yeah, I
funds
agree.
on any other team in this division besides the Bucks.
NFC West, best division in football. 49ers are the favorite at plus 185. Then we got Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. So I think the Rams are the value pick here.
Yeah.
It's not insane value, but it's plus 195, so that's decent. And I think that the 49ers are going to be a playoff team, but I don't know if they're better than the Rams. I don't think they are. So, yeah, you guys – I know that Cam said the Seahawks aren't getting any love, but I don't see them winning this division.
If I was feeling risky and I just wanted to throw some fun somewhere, I would definitely take the plus 600 Arizona Cardinals to win the division.
Really?
Cam, you just said 10 minutes ago the Rams would be the best record in
Listen,
the National
hear me
Football
out.
League.
I said if I was feeling risky, just calm down.
You're
Oh,
not
yeah,
putting
just
all your
say-
eggs in one
if
basket.
I was
You're
feeling
providing
safe-
ice. So, I'm sorry. So you're providing advice for those that are legal gamblers.
Exactly.
Okay.
If they were feeling risky.
Got it.
You're just putting your money everywhere.
Yeah. But if
Not
I needed to
married
be
to anything.
safe, I would take the Rams. That's the best pick here.
Rams got the best offense and best defense. I'd ride with them. It's close, but I'd ride with them.
All right,
I'd ride
let's
with
go to the AFC East. We got the Bills at plus or minus 150,
Oh.
Dolphins at plus 310, Patriots at plus 350,
Let's
and Jets
get rowdy.
are not going to win the division.
Let's
so
get rowdy.
I say that the Bills are 100% going to win this division, and I think the Patriots are better than the Dolphins, but I don't think they'll win a division. I think the Patriots will be a playoff team, but not division winner.
Tua.
Oh, you're riding with the Dolphins?
Tua. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, you're riding with them.
So you think if the Dolphins went to Buffalo and
so
played,
we're all split on
they would
this.
lose?
If Tua gets to Tua where Tua needs to Tua, then the Dolphins.
We've never seen that before. He
So
threw the most recent thing we heard about too is he threw 5 picks in
That's
practice. And people
we
are
all
worried.
have a bad day of practice.
Yeah, we do, but you know,
It was,
That doesn't matter.
I think
It's
it was
not
in the
like he's
rain,
tearing it
too,
up.
but-
It was also raining.
it was raining. I don't think it's fair to judge him off that. I just said that to be funny,
Weird.
but I also think that it would be much more, better if we were getting reports that Tua threw 0 interceptions and however many touchdowns in practice. That would give me faith to put money if I were on the Bill or on the Dolphins. But
We're all split on this.
so you don't think either of those teams win this division?
I don't, and you better not think I'm thinking that the Jets are going to win it. Listen, Bill Belichick. What has he seen the last few months? Tampa throwing the trophy from boat to boat. Tom Brady drinking avocado tequila, getting held up by the 4th string, laughing his head off. Going to the Kentucky Derby, wearing a fancy suit, living his best life. What has Bill Belichick been hearing? Tom Brady was the reason they won 6 titles. And what did he do? He went out and spent Bob Kraft's money.
Yep.
A lot of it. Now, this isn't my mortal lock, if you will,
Okay.
but if you put a gun to my head and I had to get this right, I would put money on the Patriots.
You'd
winning
be
the
a dead
division.
man.
I would put money
You would
on
get
it.
shot.
You would
I
no
am
longer
riding
Shot on the
with
spot.
We would be at your
Bill
funeral.
Belichick. William Belichick the
Big
15th,
hat.
whatever he is.
So you just think the Bills collapse this year, or
No, I think they go 11 and
so you think the Patriots win 12 games?
No. They may. It's either going to be 10-7, 11-6. They may have the same record, but the Patriots will get a tiebreaker.
All right.
Bills got a first place schedule. They have expectations now. Josh Allen takes some of the dumbest sacks I've ever seen. Little lazy turnovers. I don't think he's as great as people assume he will be after last year. Look, he's good. He's 6'5", he's fast, he's mobile.
I think he's going to be MVP. I think he takes the next step this year.
I'm riding with Bill.
All right, so we got AFC North. Ravens are the favorite. Then we got Browns, Steelers, and Bengals. I honestly, if I had to guess, I would say that it would go in this order, record-wise. I think that the Ravens do win the division, and I think that the Browns and Steelers are both playoff teams. I think the Bengals are in contention for worst record of any NFL team. They had an opportunity to draft a great offensive lineman. Instead, they took a receiver, which does not make sense. I understand that it's his buddy, but I don't know. I think that this one's pretty easy. And the Ravens are plus 115, so you're getting money there.
Ravens 1, Steelers 2, Browns 3, Bengals 4. Everyone loves the Browns. They just have the fourth best quarterback in their own division.
Really?
You
think Burrow's better?
In my most humble opinions.
So you taking Ben?
You put Joe Burrow on the Browns.
I'm taking Ben over Baker, but I'm taking Baker over Burrow.
I think it's Lamar, Ben, Burrow, Baker. I do.
You're a joke.
Joe Burrow was throwing to T.
I agree.
Higgins
You're
and
putting
Tyler
Ben
Boyd last year.
You're picking Ben over Baker?
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't want to win.
In the wild card last year, it was just a bad day. It was just a bad day for Big Ben.
The reason that Ben
It's bad.
threw a lot of picks is because we started our first play fumbling a ball into the end zone.
Poorly.
So we were coming from behind to
That
start.
justifies his.
I'm saying that we had to play from behind the whole game, so you have to throw the ball every play. And we also didn't have a running back, so we had to throw the ball every play anyway.
I don't
So
want to come off as hating Baker. It's a tough division. I just feel like with Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, and Nick Chubb, he should have been better the last 2 years than what he was. I know they won a playoff game, but I'm not fully sold on him.
So we got the
Order would be Ravens,
Ravens won.
Browns,
Okay.
Steelers, then Bengals.
Okay, so we just
Only because the Steelers do not have any type of offensive lineman. And that's going to really just depict their picture.
I think the Browns are a playoff team. I just don't think Baker's that great. All right, what do we got?
we got the AFC South, and I think this one could go either way between the Colts and the Titans. I think that there's good value on the Titans just because I think they're a better team than the Colts.
Yep.
They're plus 115, so I think that's good value. I don't think the Texans or Jags have any shot, but I don't know. Colts are yet to be determined. No one knows. It really depends on Carson Wentz. Do you guys have anything to say
I
about
would
that?
take Tennessee, but it's a coin flip.
So then we got AFC West. Huh, Cam?
I don't have faith in Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I don't know if I do either.
I would take the Titans.
I would too. I think those odds will probably shift. I think a lot of people are going to take the Titans and they'll become the favorite. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders in the AFC West. Cam, you were talking about Justin Herbert being MVP, so you think there's any chance they win this division?
No, because Pat Mahomes said they are.
So you think Justin Herbert could be MVP if he didn't even win his division?
Yes, like you
That's
said, they're
not
not going to
possible.
give Pat Mahomes.
put up godly stats.
which is Exactly.
We'll see.
You can't be the most valuable player in football if you're not valuable enough to to win your division. How are you that valuable if you can't win?
He's
your
in
division?
a division with the Chiefs.
Okay, and why are the Chiefs so good? Pat Mahomes, so then
Pat
you're not
Mahomes
MVP.
can't win MVP.
You
every
hate to
year.
lay that number with the Chiefs. But
Just
you
how
gotta
we
do it.
sadly can't give the MVP.
I think
to
that's a
LeBron
stay
every
away.
single year.
NFC, AFC championship.
You want me to tell you mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, you started off.
So for the AFC Championship game, I'm going chalk. I'm going Bills Chiefs, and I have the Chiefs winning it. I think that the Chiefs will be the 1 seed. It'll be in Kansas City, and I think that that's going to be a repeat of last year. However, in the NFC, I switched it up a little bit. I have Rams Bucks, and I do believe in the Rams. I believe in their defense, and I believe in Matthew Stafford. However, I don't believe in them enough for them to beat the Bucks, so I have a rematch in the Super Bowl of Chiefs-Bucks.
In the AFC, I got Chiefs, Ravens. I got the Ravens coming out. Dark horse team, dark horse. I'm talking about good value. As in, I wouldn't bet this.
So this isn't your prediction.
But no, I'm just saying, like a dark horse under the radar team is the Patriots. Never
Wow.
count Bill out. But I'm picking the Ravens over the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. I'm just saying, keep an eye on Bill. NFC, Rams. I think Tampa is a little fraudulent, but I would say Tampa gets back to the NFC Championship game, and I think the Rams win. I think the Super Bowl is going to be Rams over. No, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be Rams, Ravens, Ravens win.
Really?
That's my pick right now. I reserve the right to change my mind. Dark horse NFC team. Laugh all you want.
Lions?
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my God.
Dallas Cowboys.
Terrible.
You're becoming,
They're plus 2,800 to win the Super Bowl. That is great value for those who might want to put some money on it.
the Cowboys have zero chance.
I'm not picking them. I'm just saying keep an eye out for them.
There's no, you can shut
I
your
got
mouth.
Ravens over Rams in the Super Bowl. That's what I got.
Cam?
I could see Ravens over and the Rams in the Super Bowl. I don't think the Ravens are going to win. I think the Rams are going to
So you think the Ravens beat the Chiefs legitimately?
Yes. I feel like Lamar Jackson added the few weapons he needed.
He's got help
because he
now.
couldn't throw the ball. Like, his best receiver was Hollywood Brown. You're not going to go anywhere with
Who's like
second
5'9",
year.
165.
Exactly. And then plus it was like his second year, so he's not going to do much. I feel like Lamar's going to figure it out this year. He's going to run the ball more, which is going to be more effective because he's going to create more opportunities to run the ball. And the Rams are not going to beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
Or the Rams are going to beat the Bucks.
The Rams
What?
are
The Rams
gonna
are
beat
going
the
to beat
Bucks.
the Bucks.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Jalen Ramsey is going to lock Mike Evans.
Can I
up.
go into a brief rant on why the Bucks are fraudulent?
Yeah.
Just briefly. Through 12 weeks last year, they were 7-5. How did they finish the year? They played the Falcons twice, at the Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings, who underachieved incredibly last year. And then in the first round of the playoffs, they get the worst team in the history of football to make the playoffs in the Washington
Almost
football
lost,
team.
though.
You go. I'm just saying. That's my point. They had 5 tune-up games before they had to play Drew Brees, who was on his last arm, literally his last game ever.
Yeah.
And then the Packers just choked it away and handed it to him time after time. I think they get back to the conference title game. I don't think they win it. That's just my little.
So Matthew Stafford goes from being on the worst franchise in the NFL to being in the Super Bowl.
It's more so going to be because of McVay, but yes.
Agreed.
That's
I think
mine.
it'll be more because of the defense.
The defense is awesome. They were the best defense last year. I expect that to continue.
You guys have any closing remarks?
Jake?
Switch back to the NBA. Mortal lock, Bucks spread game.
Tomorrow?
2. Yeah, I think they blow them out.
I agree with that.
I think they blow them out.
I'll take Hawk spread.
Interesting value there. I think money line, obviously Bucks, but I don't know what the spread is.
7.5.
Yeah, I'm
That's a lot of
taking-
points, but I think Bucks cover.
That is a lot of points.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure, Jake and Cam, for you guys to be here. Cam's been pretty cozy over there.
Yeah.
Always.
And thank you, and have a good night.
Gang!
I'm excited to watch it.